sports fans of the White Lake area. Welcome to Montague High School, where tonight the Shelby Tigers take on the Wildcats of Montague in exciting Michigan High School Athletic Association District 3 Tournament Finals. On my right, Dale Schrader. My name, Larry Lindquist. To my left, Jeff Peterson. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And you get to choose which is which, folks. We won't make any judgments about that, but we're glad that you joined us anyway. It was incredible when we came to the gym this evening. We were here at least an hour and a half ahead of time, and there were many hundred people lined up outside waiting to get in. Once you get to see the crowd on the floor, you'll know that we have people packed in here, and the excitement has just been so intense over the last 45 minutes. It's incredible. You can hear the crowd in the background, I'm sure, and I'm assuming that it's going to be that way the entire evening. Dale, from the standpoint of the Wildcats, we've had good success over the course of the season. 73 points is the average of the Wildcats, but we noted that the Shelby Tigers are averaging 71, so that's a real close offensive matchup.
Yes, Larry, and what we talked about too is the difference that you'll see is on the defensive side, where Shelby's given up an average of 61 points a game, and Montague, on the other hand, has only given up an average of around 52 points a game. So, as most good coaches will tell you, Jeff would, I'm sure, allude to this, good defense wins you ball games and championships.
You're absolutely correct. Now, Jeff, let's talk a little bit about these Tigers. In terms of their tournament experience here, they've done quite well. We remember broadcasting a game of Shelby not too long ago, which was the first of a series of bad luck games for them. Lost 3 in a row in 1 week because of a makeup game. But during March Madness, they've been absolutely superb, beating their opponent soundly.
They've had a very excellent season. I believe they're 16-6 right now. Had a little letdown at the end of the season after they lost to the Wildcats here and fell on some hard times, but got their act together and came back strong and have really put some points on the board in the tournament. And so the Wildcats are going to have to play their best defense, so that Dale alluded to knock them off tonight to advance. Both teams, as you said, average right around 70-some points a ball game. So I look for a lot of points being put up, but if it's like it was the other night with the Vikings, the Wildcats, I look to play some real tough defense.
This is the second consecutive sellout in front of which the Wildcats have played. Last Wednesday, of course, Thursday, the Wildcats took on the Vikings of Whitehall and came out with a real good battling win to send them to the district finals. One of the real stars of that game was a young man by the name of Mark Schneider. And earlier this week, we talked with Mark about that game and about his thoughts on tonight's contest. So if we could get our cameraman, Gary Bodine, to shut us down for a minute, let's go down on court and talk to Mark Schneider as recorded yesterday.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Montague High School. As you can see, we're in the media center, and with me this afternoon is Mark Schneider. Mark had an excellent game last night, and we'll be talking a little bit about that in a few minutes. But first, Mark, we've talked this year some about a quad squad. A quad squad meaning that we've had 4 years in a row that we've been district champions, that we've been conference champions, hoping for a 4th district championship here tonight. You've been a member of the varsity team for a couple of years. How do you see the success over the past couple of years? You know, when you first got on the team, did you expect to be a part of such a successful program, and how do you see it now compared to then?
When I first got on the team, I knew that we would be good, because when we were younger, we always played with the older kids, and we were only going to get better. And we gelled together real well, and I knew once we get a little experience that we would play real well once we got to be seniors. And so I knew we would be good once we got to our senior year.
Okay, well, that certainly has been the case this year, and of course it was the case last year too. Now let's talk a little bit about tournament action. We've been interviewing kids all during the course of this season, last season, etc. After games, we've had some people on. Tonight's a district tournament final, and how do you feel about going into a tournament in general? First of all, is it different than regular season games? And then what about tonight's game itself against the Shelby Tigers?
Well, when you go into tournaments, everybody's even. Everybody has no record at all. And so the teams that really didn't do well in the conference during the regular season comes out and they have nothing to lose, and so they play their hardest. So you have to play your hardest again. And this game is going to be a tough game. Shelby's always good against us, but we want that quad squad means a lot to us, and we want to be district champions again for the 4th year. So tournaments mean a lot to us, as well as the regular season does too.
Okay, well, Mark, as we enter tonight's competition, can you give me just a couple of comments about what you think the key to tonight's success for the Wildcats might have to be? We know that they have a good balanced team. We know that Alexander scored 27 points here one night this week already, etc. We know that Mr. Grants is also one of their leading scorers. How do you see us needing to be involved in the flow of the offense and defense both tonight to be successful?
Well, offensively, we have to get the ball inside and offensive rebound and make some of our shots. We haven't been really making the shots that we need. Our percentage is a little low offensively. And defensively, we got to rebound and get the ball out and go. But the main thing is to rebound and run. Make sure you run.
Okay, Mark. One last question here. We've commented about this several times before, you coming off the bench doing an excellent job. And last night was no exception to that, of course. You had one of your finest games of the season, scoring, I believe, 16 points and taking down some important rebounds, etc. What brought it all together for you last night? The 16 points, I think, was the highest total of the year for you. Is that right?
That's right. I think it was just a matter of playing Whitehall. It was nice to hear the sound of beating them 3 in a row. And you don't do that very often against Whitehall. And I don't know, I was really up for the game as well as many other guys were, but I really wanted to beat Whitehall just so we could get into the district finals.
Okay, of course, as a Wildcat fan, we look forward to tonight's game and wish you the best of success, and hopefully we'll be following you on across the state to the regionals. But at any rate, good luck for tonight's game, Mark.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Well, there you have it. Mark Schneider commenting about tonight's game and, of course, the fact that he was glad he had success out here last Thursday night. And both teams are now on the court warming up. Which team do you think is most critical to get off to a fast start here tonight?
I think it's very important for Shelby to get off with a fast start. I don't think they were going to want to play catch-up basketball against Montague. Montague has played, Jeff and I were talking about this before the game, they've played some real pressure-packed games this year, and I think they'll have the advantage if they get off to a good lead, let's say 6-10 points. And on the other hand, I don't think Shelby's had that kind of a situation in this kind of a game, with this kind of pressure.
Well, Jeff, what kind of an advantage, if any, does home court play in this contest?
Well, anytime you get to play on your own home court, that's an advantage. And the Wildcats over the past few seasons since Coach State's been here, 40-2. And that adds up to a lot of victories, and I'm certain that that's on the minds of the Tigers tonight as they come into the play.
Well, it's really difficult to win on the Montague High School court if you're an opponent, and we certainly hope as Wildcat fans, of course, that record continues. I think we ought to comment as we wind down to pregame festivities here. The officials for tonight's game, Mr. Johnny Robinson and Mr. Todd Gearlings, they have to be excited, too, to see the intensity here and looking forward to a good contest.
I think they're just like the players, aren't they, Pete? Their adrenaline's pumping.
They're just as excited. I'll tell you, this is the kind of game they've been waiting for all year long.
Well, we're going to go down on court and have the introduction of the players following the Star Spangled Banner. The national anthem is being sung tonight. I believe that's Steph Haney that's down on court side. Steph has sung many times before, of course. Excellent voice, and she's about to offer us another selection.
Strikes and bright stars.
That was absolutely beautiful, Steph. Sent chills up and down my back to listen to you with those crystal clear notes. Congratulations on a fantastic job.
Well, it puts goosebumps up.
Oh, it really did.
If the game is half as good as that, I'll tell you, we're in for a treat.
You bet, Pete.
Well, Dale Schrader's going to give the Shelby Tiger lineup, and Jeff Peterson will do the Wildcats.
At one guard, number 20, Craig Alexander, senior guard, really a mainstay of the Shelby team.
And for the Wildcats, at one guard, senior, number 30, Eric Webb.
The other guard for Shelby, number 22, Jason Kennedy.
Playing across from Eric Webb, number 20, Scott Lindquist. The only junior on this team that's starting.
Number 55, I'm sleeping up here at center, Justin Grants.
In the middle for the Wildcats, number 34, Doug Schlaff.
At one forward for Shelby, number 45, Steve Heitkoop.
At one forward, number 32, senior Ryan Ingram.
At the other forward for Shelby, number 25, Jason Sullivan.
And at the fifth position out there, number 54, senior Matt Cotter.
There you have it, folks, the starting lineups for the Tigers, coached by Mr. Rick Zulik, and the Wildcats, coached by Mr. Jim Tate. Mr. Tate having his usual fine season, the fourth 20 victory season in a row, and that's quite a record in itself, Dale.
Well, that's an enviable record. 80 wins, I believe only 10 defeats. 81 wins, 10 defeats, I think, is where Jim stands now at Montague. And there aren't very many prep coaches in the state of Michigan or in the nation, I'm sure, that can attest to that percentage. He's done it with a lot of class.
Of course, Rick Zulik was a former player under Coach Tate, so I'm sure that they, too, between themselves, have some special feelings about any contest between the two clubs.
As the ball goes up there, I think one of the things the Wildcats want to do right off the bat is get Mr. Alexander under control right to begin with. He can kind of control the game just like some of our ball players. Eric Webb, for instance, the other night did that for us. And he's done that twice for them against us, and I'm sure we want to make sure that he plays our game, not his.
Correct. Alexander, of course, averaging almost 16 points a game, and that's an important thing to shut off for the Wildcats. Eric Webb, who had an absolutely fantastic game against the Vikings, over to Lindquist, inside to Cotter. Cotter with a move back out to Webb, over the top, and Grants comes down with the rebound. Tigers with their first opportunity as Alexander goes over to Sullivan. Sullivan again, inside to Heitkoop. Heitkoop with the inside move over the top, and Grants with the rebound. Up good! So the Tigers scored first blood here, 2-0 with 7:15 remaining.
Well, we're not going to let that second rebound take place, that's for sure.
Well, that's what hurt them the other night against Whitehall to begin with, and after a little while they got control of that. Here's Doug Schlaff. Hope he gets off mark, and he does.
A good roll by Doug that time. Doug had a little tough luck last Thursday against the Vikings. 4 points total, and of course, he was working against real pressure. Double and triple teamed all the time.
Well, I don't think you're going to see Doug have that many tough games like that.
Grants with a shot. He was really bothered that time by Doug Schlaff, and Lindquist comes away with the ball. Looking down to Cotter on the inside. Cotter, feet, move, basket, good! 4-2, Montague at 6:37, and Cotter at the line.
I'll tell you, for the Wildcats, so many people come through when the points are needed, when the chips are on the line, and I'll tell you, Matt Cotter's one of those players.
He's been a money player this year. They've needed a big bucket. He's come through. You're right, Jeff.
Cotter having just a great season in many categories. He's among the leaders in field goal percentage as you saw that shot go in. And there you saw a free throw drop through, and he's 6th in the league in free throw shooting. Pressure by the Cats. Head it goes to Sullivan. Sullivan down the paint, up, and Connor with a power rebound. Connor back up floor, handles the ball nicely for a big man. Drops it off to Lindquist. Lindquist going to be called for the travel. The basket will be no good. Drag that pivot for a little bit, Jeff.
Well, but Scotty's got to do just that. He's got to take the ball home. He's got to put it up just like he did there, and not let that little miscue bother him.
Wildcats lead by 3, 5-2 with 6:14 remaining. Craig Alexander, high coop now. Sullivan looking inside the Grants, nothing there. Nice defense on the part of the Cats there.
We're playing excellent defense, Larry. We're getting real good movement. There's been good switching going on.
Kennedy has the ball knocked away by Webb, and it's
excellent hustle down there.
Out of bounds, Shelby in the corner.
Well, they're shutting all the lanes off inside, and fronting man in the weak side's coming for help on the backside, so everything's being covered.
Wildcats, of course, noted for that pressure defense, and the deflections and the steals give them quite an advantage at times. High coop on the inside, up over the top, but he draws a personal, I believe, on Ryan Anglem. We'll wait and see for sure, but I believe it's Ryan Anglem.
And I believe Ryan was coming to help, too. That's exactly who it was.
Yeah, he was.
He was, you're right. High coop at the line.
That'll be a key, too, Larry and Jeff, but the team that gets to the free throw line the most. The other night, we outscored Whitehall, I believe it was by 13 points.
Well, and that's been a big key for us all year long, Dale. We've just been a tremendous
shooting over 70%. That's right.
Right for the season, we're almost 72%. And high coop misses 2 big ones there. Here it goes from Anglem to Webb. Webb from 17, short. Scharf can't quite control it. Comes back to Connor. Connor picks it up and gets it back to Webb. Wildcats set up the offense once again. Stack, low stack now with the man-to-man defense. Anglem driving left. Connor. Webb looking inside. Anglem from 15 passes off to Schlaff. Schlaff, inside move. Lindquist controls it.
That's good defense by Shelby down there.
Real good defense. Now we're going to go back to the set again. 5 minutes and 6 seconds remaining.
Good patience shown by the Wildcats here. They didn't just throw one up.
Schlaff off the glass. Good.
He can go left, he can go right. He can do anything with that ball.
Kennedy ahead for the Tigers, 7-2. Tigers down by 5. Alexander has it blocked by Webb. Webb hustles downfield, down floor, up, good! Durant side by Schlaff. Schlaff, nice inside move. Off the glass, good. Wildcats.
Tigers leading the timeout.
Well, you can't hear anything. We might as well just wait a minute, guys.
You know, Larry, exactly what the Wildcats did the last possession they had. They just took their time, very patient, reset, and finally got the basket. That's exactly what the Tigers did not do. They wanted to rush it down, wanted to rush it in, wanted to get all those points back at once, and you can't do that.
And I think, too, Jeff, that the experience of Montague is showing through right now. They've been in this pressure-packed games before, and I think definitely Shelby's a little bit tight the first few minutes here. I think it shows.
Well, you mentioned before game, Dale, that it was important that Shelby get off to a fast start, and if that's true, they're going to be really disappointed. On the other hand, we remember last Thursday night, the Wildcats were up 6-0 against the Vikings, and of course, the Vikings came back strong, so we can't be too overconfident.
I think the next 2 minutes of this contest are real key to what the rest of the ball game is going to be like. We cannot have a letdown just because we're up by 9 points. It's early on in the ball game.
You bet, Jeff. It really is.
Tate and Schneider come in off the bench for the Wildcats as Kennedy takes it up court, guarded by Tate. Tate, I think, is going to draw the personal as Kennedy went on by him. In the act of shooting, Kennedy will be at the line for 2.
You know, the way he was dribbling that ball, Jeff and Larry, if somebody had been in the right position, it would have been easily knocked away.
Well, and I think It was just a nudge, but he was smart enough to realize when he got that nudge to go ahead and put it up in the towards that basket and hopefully get the call, and that's exactly what happened.
8-point deficit now as Kennedy puts one down. One more attempt coming up. Off the side that time, and Schroff pulls down another big important rebound for the Wildcats. Tate draws it back out. Wise decision on the part of Brad Tate, Jr., number 22, over to Cotter. Cotter from just inside looks at the paint, up. That time it bounces out, and Alexander takes the rebound down.
That was a good drive by Matt, though. I'd like to see him take that a few more times. It was definitely there.
I'm sure we will, Dale, too. He's real adept at that move. Kennedy from the inside misses that 8-footer, and it comes out to Tate once again from Schlau.
I think it's real key here that the Wildcats, again, just be very patient. Just keep on adding to that lead while they play good pressure defense at the other end.
I think it's really important, too, Jeff, that we're controlling the offensive or the defensive boards, our defensive boards. Schlau with the first one. At the game with the Vikings, Montague had some trouble early on, especially with that defensive board, and the Vikings were getting more than one shot. And now we're seeing that not be the case.
I will say, though, that the Wildcats are only limiting the Tigers to one shot at the other end, so it's been kind of evened up.
Kennedy against Tate. Justin Grant's the leading scorer in the league. West Michigan Conference leader gets his first two. Nice spin that time, nice move.
That was a good shot. I took it off balance, but it went down for him.
Well, we had some good pressure on him, but we kind of backed off, and he took advantage of it and drove to the middle and sunk that ball.
Tate to Lindquist to Schlaff. No good, and there was no rebound into the board for the blue that time. Alexander working against Lindquist. Kennedy from 3, over the top, and Schneider comes down with an important rebound.
Boy, Mark Schneider played a really tremendous ball game on Thursday night, Larry. And he's a key to this game, too.
He is a very important cog in the wheel of the Wildcat plan. Inside the Cotter from Lindquist. Up. Good! 13-5 with 2:33 remaining in the first quarter. Kennedy against Tate.
Yeah, he's turning it over.
I saw you tear that one up here.
I thought the time before when he got fouled, he turned it over, but I was not going to say anything.
What he does is he changes direction, he holds that ball from the bottom side.
Johnny Robinson saw it the way you did, Dale, and it's going to be Wildcat ball. Cotter getting a breather and replaced by Anglem. And now we're going to have a Shelby replacement here, too, as number 40. That's Jason Bays comes in for the Tigers.
I'll tell you, Jason Bays, when we played earlier this season here at MHS, played a nice ball game for the Tigers. Came in when they got in foul trouble and just played excellent. I'm sure they're looking for some of the same tonight.
Anglem took the shot and draws the personal against number 40, Bays, I believe, who just came in. Or it could have been 30. Number 30 has come in for the Tigers, too, Scott Sherman.
But it was Bays.
I didn't see Sherman come in, but important, down 13-5, we note that Sherman is the third leading three-point shooter in the West Michigan Conference, and perhaps Rick Zulik is looking to take some of those outside shots to break some things open. Anglin makes it 14-5 Wildcats, a 9-point difference with 2:18 remaining.
Oh, soft touch. We get it every time, or at least a lot of the time.
Oh. Alexander has it knocked away by Lindquist. Underneath it goes, however. Now picked up by Lindquist off of a deflection by Webb. Lindquist down court. Back out to Webb. Schlaff just inside, drives to the paint. 13-footer off the side of the rim, and Alexander gets the rebound. Jeff Alexander's had at least 3 important rebounds. One of the shortest players on the court for Shelby, but he's inside.
Well, he uses his quickness so well. And
there's another example of excellent talent by Alexander.
Great drive by Craig. Yeah. Great drive down the middle.
Well, not only that, when it went up, he didn't stop. He went right for the rebound, and everybody stood and watched, and he got his own rebound.
Lindquist, the baseline up. Good! Makes it 17-7, a 10-point differential with 1:25 remaining. There's Bays with the ball across the timeline. Number 15 Keith Zulik, son of the coach, now in the contest as well.
He came in the other night and really shot the eyes out of the basket.
There the ball goes over, it's picked up by Webb. Webb to Anglem. Goal! Beautiful teamwork that time. 19-7 Wildcats. Zulik across the timeline. Alexander with the ball now.
Shelby really left by out there with that press.
Yeah, they're having a lot of a tough time with it.
There's Sherman, the three-point shooter, but he goes inside the Grants from 14. Good! And you just can't leave Grants alone like that. Doug was hustling to get through, but couldn't quite get there in time.
Well, he got a backside pick, and he came from that low post area high, got it and turned around and hit it.
30 seconds in the first quarter. Lindquist from 3. Good! Three-point basket makes it 22-9. Oh, and he gets his foul there, too.
I don't care. I'm just so happy to see Scott shoot like that.
Well, Scotty's got to do that. Scotty's got to put the ball up. He's got a good shot. He's got a good head on his shoulder. He makes the right decisions. He just got to keep on playing his ball game.
Schneider, Webb, Lindquist, Anglem, and Cotter for the Wildcats. Zulik. There's two. We got two fouls on Scott Lindquist now, and it's the second team foul as well. Excuse me, the fourth team foul.
He almost had a great steal, or would have been a turnover.
Yes, it went off the Shelby player's leg out of bounds, but got the foul just before that.
Well, it's tough for me as a parent to see Scott do that, but he's hustling, and I'm pleased that he did get those first two baskets.
Well, I noticed Coach Tate didn't say a word to him as he came over because they were all. He was out there really working at it, really hustling, and just like we said, he knows that Scott's got to do that for us to be a successful team.
That's right. And we have number 44, 6'7" Ryan Richards into the contest for the Tigers. Matt Cotter has nice inside position, however. And
we've been controlling those boards down there, Jeff.
Right, they're not giving him that second opportunity, and we got 12 seconds left, and the Wildcats just hold for one.
Webb to the baseline area. Tate, Black, foul! Richards picks up his first personal. Active shooting foul, so Tate will be at the line.
Brad Tate was in the right spot at the right time, picked that ball up and did the right thing, went right to the hoop and didn't let the big man intimidate him inside, so he did an excellent job, and now he's at the free throw line. Of course, that's exactly what we like Brad Tate, right out at the free throw line.
When he was fouled, Pete, I was thinking they couldn't have put a better guy there.
He's number one in the whole West Michigan Conference as he misses the second, but he's made 85% from the line on the season, during the regular season. Well, there you have it, folks. Exciting West Michigan Conference competition in the district tournament. Into the first quarter, Montague 23, Shelby 9. And fans will be right back after this word from down on court. Before the game, we interviewed one of our board members, Mr. Jerry Nash. Let's see what he had to say about tonight's contest. Welcome to the floor of Montague High School as we're waiting for exciting Michigan High School Athletic Association action tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Sitting next to me in a ringside seat are Mr. and Mrs. Jerry Nash. Jerry's a school board member, and we're glad that he's come out, and he has an excellent seat. Good thing you came early, Jerry. What was the lineup like outside?
It was a madhouse out there. I couldn't believe the number of people waiting to get in. It's exciting to see that many people interested to come and be a part of our school athletic program.
Well, Jerry, I know you've been a big supporter of White Lake Athletics throughout your time here in town, but this is really something else. We're hosting the district tournament final action tonight. What do you think about the fact that Montague is the site of a district tournament with this kind of excitement attached to it?
Well, I think this is really important to the school. I think this is the kind of thing that gives the school the PR that it needs, the positive things that are going on within the school, the athletics. It's just great that we can host this here in our facilities.
Okay, Jerry, well, cheer us on to victory, okay? Thanks a lot. Well, Jeff and Dale, you couldn't ask for more exciting action. The Shelby Tigers find themselves down by 14, which is not an enviable position to be in against the Wildcats, but I'm sure they're going to come back.
Dale, think you agree with me. I think that's one of the better first quarters I've seen the Wildcats play in quite a while. And of course, I think the better the competition and the situation which you play under brings out the best out of the best.
I think you can just see how mentally ready our kids were to play in that first quarter. I agree with you. The first quarter hasn't always been our best quarter this year. We've had second quarters that have been outstanding, but the first quarter, sometimes we start out sluggish. Such was not the case tonight.
And hopefully, as you just said, that second quarter will be a very good one.
Yeah, I'm going to say, if we play like we normally do in the second quarter, being better.
Here we go, folks. Alexander, guarded by Kennedy, working the ball around. Sullivan, there's Alexander again. Kennedy. Excellent defense on the part of the Cats. There's Alexander. 15-footer is good. Well, there you see, folks, why Alexander is one of the leading scorers in the entire West Michigan Conference.
They showed a lot of patience there, Larry. Again, worked it around till they got a simple 12, 15-footer.
Cut the Wildcat margin to 12 inside from Webb. Schlock with 2.
Well, Tigers have switched to a 2-3 zone, and Eric Webb picked that up right away, drove the baseline, drew 3 men to him, and then passed it off to Doug inside for the 2.
Sullivan looking to Grants, but nothing there. Grants has been pretty quiet tonight thus far. Kennedy from outside. There's Grants once more looking inside. Kennedy, Sullivan, Alexander. Alexander's kept them in the game thus far. Short that time. Haiku, nice rebound. Nice inside power move against 2 Wildcat defenders. 25-13, 12-point difference with 6:40 remaining in the second quarter.
Now they're going back to a man-to-man.
Tate driving the baseline all the way around, up over the top. Bad break that time for the Wildcats, but nice drive by Brad Tate. Haiku driving the paint, drops it outside for Grants. Alexander now giving directions to his crew. Alexander has it tapped away and picked up by Tate. Tate going in. We're going to have an offensive foul being called.
You know, that time Bradley should have just slowed it down. He didn't really have a good breakaway. 1-on-3, basically.
I was going to say 1-on-3, just pull it back out, and we had the advantage. We had the ball.
Yep, exactly. Of course, it's easy for us to say that up here, too.
Right, right. Lindquist back in for Webb. Anglin hustling up against Kennedy. Good movement on the part of the Tigers here. There's Alexander for an open 15-footer, and he sinks it again. I think that's Alexander's 8th point out of the 15.
Well, you don't want to give Craig a split second because he'll shoot it, and he's got a good shot, and he's going to put a lot of them down.
Cotter splits the middle. Up, good. Nice inside assist to Lindquist, and Cotter.
I think Matt Cotter has great footwork and knows how to get by his man with that footwork, and he gets
really
himself a lot of easy baskets that way.
There's an unforced turnover there by Kennedy.
I really think, Jeff and Larry, that matchup between Matt and Steve Haiku is an important one in the game, because I think Matt can take it to him and cause a lot of trouble for Shelby.
I would agree with you.
Haiku is an important part of the Tiger program, of course. He averages about 10 rebounds a game, and you're right, Dale. If we can get in inside on him and get him in some trouble, that would be an important loss for the Tigers. Cotter from outside this time, and Haiku gets a rebound. Nice blockout by Haiku. 27-15, 5 minutes and 7 seconds in the half. Alexander got it by Lindquist. Haiku from 13, short. Lindquist comes away with the tap ball from Cotter. Lindquist to Cotter. Cotter inside. We're going to have a call here. Walking it is. Johnny Robinson saw Matt Cotter take one little extra drag step there, I think, gentlemen.
Another thing I've noticed last couple times down is they've tried to move Alexander to a wing offensively instead of running to point. That way he can run himself off, picks get open, and get that ball and put it up and in. Hasn't been very successful handling the ball, taking it himself at this point so far because of the great defense by the players that have been on him.
Well, here we go again.
As I say that, he runs the point.
Alexander passes low to Zulik. Good. Nice touch that time. Nothing but net.
Well-run play. Keith Zulik. He shot a tremendous percentage Monday night against Mason County. Had at least 3 3-pointers.
Well, these Tigers scored 97 points on Monday night, scored 82 points on Wednesday night. So we know they have the potential. Though they only have 17 points on the board right now, we can anticipate lots more from the Tigers.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Alexander with the first foul. Excuse me, Jeff.
No problem. I'll tell you, Keith Zulik shoots a lot like his dad, only shoots with the other hand. And I'll tell you, I can remember when his dad used to light him up for Shelby.
Yes,
and,
I bet he did. You remember that, Jeff?
Yes, I remember that very well.
Webb, good at the line. Boy, I remember last Thursday night, Webb stepped up to the line on the other end in the fourth quarter and just put some clutch free throws in the basket there, Jeff, for us.
He literally iced it for us. Is what he did.
And you know, I mentioned this before, but I just thought of it again. It was Eric Webb that kept us in the game a lot of time at Shelby in the fourth quarter, and some of those were free throws at that time. It was knocked out of bounds by Highcoop, and Anglem puts it up. Rebound by Cotter, and we're going to have a jump ball, I believe is the call, as Highcoop
and it's Montague's ball.
Highcoop and Kennedy and Cotter all were fighting for it.
Matt Cotter was just going after that ball like you'd never want to see.
Well, again, it's footwork. It's footwork that got Matt there.
Mark Schleider, Anglem, back to Schleider. Schleider from 3. Oh, just over the top. Mark scored 16 points against the Vikings and kept us in the contest a great deal of the time. Schlaff picks up the attempted save by Zulik off the glass that time. Cotter hustling after it, knocks it back, and it's going to be Wildcat ball. Good play by Johnny Roberts.
Guess who did that again?
Matt Cotter.
Matt Cotter.
Number 54.
You think he wants to win this game, Jeff? You think Matt wants to win this game?
I think that's for certain.
Well, there are going to be some disappointed seniors on one of the teams tonight as somebody's not going to go on, and Matt certainly doesn't want it to be him, for sure. Lindquist from 15, no good this time. Too hard. Cotter with the rebound basket attempt. Keith Zulik picks it up. Alexander.
I don't really like our shot selection here too much, but it's Shelby's playing good defense.
I was going to say, Shelby's really started picking up defensively and done a good job
on the
defensive end.
Deflection by Lindquist. Lindquist hustling after it. Back down to Highcoop. Highcoop against Schlaff. Good. Nice move on the floor that time by Highcoop.
Smart play by Highcoop as he took it right at Doug Schlaff and went right strong up to the basket. Either follow me or I'm going to make the hoop.
28-19. First time the Wildcats have had less than a double-digit lead in some time. 9-point difference now, and there's a turnover as the Shelby Tigers are trying to take some of that momentum away and come back strong with 3 minutes and 4 seconds left in the first half.
I believe they've outscored us 10-5. Is that right? In this,
I believe so.
This quarter? So
across the timeline is Sherman. Lindquist with the steal. Lindquist inside to Eric Webb. Webb off the glass, no good, but a foul is called. 2-shot foul, I believe, is the call.
There you see that press again. Makes such a difference.
Scott had a little trouble passing that ball off to Eric, or I think Eric could have taken it in, but Scott had the right idea, gave it up, and, got Eric back at the line, had a chance to put a couple more points on the board, get back over that double-digit hump.
Anglem replacing Schneider as Webb drops the first through. We've got a lot of excited fans right below us from both the Tiger and the Wildcat student body. Our cameraman Gary Boudin has had them on the air several times. I'm sure you'll see him again. But what enthusiasm we saw down there before game time, and continuing right now. Tigers looking to cut into the Wildcat lead. Kennedy, Grants against Schlaff up.
I want him to shoot that shot all night because that's going to be a tough one for him.
Indeed it is. But he's made those before against us. I'm sure he's going to continue to shoot them. Webb, no good, and Grants comes away with the rebound. Knocked away by Webb. Kennedy Setting it up now. Guarded by Anglem. Webb, deflection and a steal. Kind of a 3-on-2 break here, and he goes right to the center, and it's picked off by Zulik. Zulik gets a nice bounce pass through to Kennedy.
Well, nice hustle by Zulik to get back because we had a 3-on-1 break right there.
Sherman from 3, no good. And Lindquist goes up for the rebound, and over the back is a call, I believe. 1:52 remaining in the half. 30-19, 11-point difference.
Well, that's what we have to do. We have to get our body on Haiku because he's got some critical rebounds already in this ball game. And he's a big, strong kid that if you let him get the inside position, he's going to take advantage of it, take you to the hole.
I just got to believe our stamina is better. Don't you think, Jeff?
Well, the way we keep on running kids in and out all the time, it doesn't seem like they ever get tired.
No, and I mean, Shelby's style of play isn't as, I don't want to say it's not as fast or aggressive, but it just seems like our kids go 32 minutes.
Well, I think we're making them play our style right now. I hope it doesn't change, but as we know in the first game, that is exactly what happened.
Tipped in off the Zulik miss by number 25, I believe, Jason Sullivan. 32-21, 11-point difference once again. Lindquist inside Anglem, up, off the back, and Grants hauls it down. Grant's having a little trouble there, but he finds Zulik now with 1:25 remaining. Grants now brings it up the court, deflected by Schlaff. Zulik deflected by Tate. They're having trouble. Grants against Schlaff does make the inside move that time.
Nice move. Nice move.
Once he got the step, you know he was gone, and when he gets inside like that, it's almost surely going to go in. 9-point difference now with 58 seconds left in the half. Tripping foul is going to be the call on number 15, Keith Zulik.
It was certainly unintentional, but there really was no other call. What do you think, Jeff?
I was just going to say there wasn't much the official could do. It certainly wasn't an intentional foul by any means, but you had to call something there.
Eric Webb back in for the Wildcats along with Matt Cotter, spelling Lindquist and Anglem with 55 seconds remaining. Tate good this time.
Jeff, explain to me that release he has. How do you describe that?
I wish I could.
It's great every time the ball goes in. Well, I shouldn't have said that either.
I think we better be quiet about that when Brad shoots because both times we mention it, he's missed.
Foul on Cotter as Todd Gearings felt that Matt Cotter got a piece of the arm as well as the ball. That's his first foul. By this time against the Vikings, Lindquist had 3 and Cotter had 3 and Schlaff had 3.
I was just going to say at this point, the last game, we were in foul trouble, and so far we have not been in any kind of foul trouble. And so far,
deflected off from either Webb or Cotter apparently.
Must be Cotter hit it.
And so far, it really hasn't hurt us too much, the times we put them at the foul line.
Looking for Grants, and he's guarded by Cotter. Gets the basket attempt, but Schlaff comes away with the rebound. Schneider driving hard along the baseline. Back outside, but it's picked off by the Tigers, and Cotter picks it up again for the Wildcats. 28 seconds.
Smart play, smart play.
We'll go for the last shot, I would think.
Coach Tate is giving him the high stack sign, and I think that means they want him to do number 5 and look for the easy basket, or at least work it around until late in the contest, or the half. Tate lost it and then picks it up again. Off his leg, and it goes to the Tigers.
Boy, that's just, how do you describe that kind of play down there? Just really aggressive, I guess.
Right. Well, you know, one of the things is that with that play, the Tigers run that, and of course Coach Zulik actually used that when he played for Coach Tate, so he knows how to defend that play very, very well.
I'm not
sure
sure
it
why.
will work as well against the Tigers as it does against a lot of teams.
Keith Zulik might not have made the best decision there. Eric Webb up, no good at the half. So the score, after 16 minutes of district tournament final action, Montague 33, Shelby 23. Well, gentlemen, halftime it is at Montague High School. and the fans are getting their money's worth once again. As a matter of fact, almost every game in this tournament has seen the fans get their money's worth. We started out, of course, with the magnificent play of Shelby and Scottville against one another, a scoring competition, not a defensive one, and we've continued from there. I think we'll just stop right at the moment here and go down on court to see what some of the people before the game thought about tonight's contest and see if their predictions or their feelings are being held true on the court. We'll be right back. With us now on court is Tom Cullen, loyal Wildcat sports fan. What do you think about tonight's action, Tom? Was it kind of brutal, as you mentioned earlier, getting in the gym even tonight?
Parking started out being brutal, and then there was just a huge crowd at the door, and we were here, probably an hour early before the game started.
What do you think the crowd tonight can expect from the Shelby Tigers and the Wildcats?
It should be a fantastic game. You know, they split the regular season, and I really think Montague is going to win this one.
Well, spoken like a true Wildcat fan, of course. We thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Larry.
You bet. Well, Montague resident Tom Cullen knew that it was a crowded situation here, excited situation, but being the true loyal Wildcat supporter, he also thought the Wildcats were going to win. Dale, you know Tom through his wife, of course, with she being an employee of yours. A nice family, the Cullens.
They're just an excellent family, and Tom, of course, is a graduate of Montague. Christy, his wife, is a graduate of Hart High School, I believe, and they live in the community and very supportive of the schools. And you see them at a lot of the basketball games during the winter.
I noticed that they don't have one of their children with them tonight.
Well, we've had a little outbreak of chickenpox at early school, and I believe one classroom there has 4 students in it right now that have come down with that. So, but that's a yearly thing. We usually have that hit about this time of year.
Well, you know, we've had several Montague people on the air so far tonight, but I think we'll switch back down to the court before the game. We had kind of an unusual situation. We didn't even realize it at the time, but we interviewed Brad Plummer from Shelby, who is an official, a longtime supporter of Tiger basketball, played on some teams for Shelby, as you'll see. And then right after that, we went to the mascot of the Tigers, and that mascot turned out to be Tracy Plummer, the daughter of Brad. So let's go down courtside and see what a couple loyal Tiger fans thought about tonight's action. We'll be right back. Welcome back again. With us now is Brad Plummer, a true Tiger supporter. As a matter of fact, Brad, I think you played on some Shelby teams that had quite a bit of success a while ago.
Yes, that was back in the early 70s, but Montague's having the success right now. They're winning year after year, and we just got to come down and see if maybe Shelby can pull an upset. You never know.
You're an official that's been involved in some of the exciting high school action. What's it like to be an official in a game like this?
Well, I tell you, I wouldn't touch this game for anything. This is the largest crowd I've seen. I was over in the Heights Fremont game a couple years ago, but this is going to be something tonight.
What kind of following do the Tigers bring with them tonight, do you think?
Oh, I know a lot of people that are coming to the game tonight that haven't seen a game all year. So there's a lot of people here that just don't go.
Okay, well, we wish you the best of luck, Brad. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Well, obviously, we're on court now with the mascot of the Shelby Tigers. Tell me, Miss Tiger, how long have you been Miss Tiger?
Just this year.
Just this year, okay. And this is Tracy Plummer, the daughter of the gentleman we just finished interviewing, Brad Plummer. Tracy, is it hot in there?
Very.
What do you think that this mascot has added to the Shelby Tiger program?
I think it's added school spirit. I think it helps the students to get pepped up.
Okay, well, you know what, Tracy, I'm not sure that this is coming over the microphone, but we wish it would at least, because I don't think we've ever interviewed a mascot before. What do you think of your job? What's the most important part of your job?
I think it's to help the Shelby kids get pepped up and just to, stand for Shelby school.
Okay, well, Tracy, we wish you the best of luck. And can I shake hands with the Tiger? I've never done that before. See you later, okay? Well, as I said, that's the first time I've ever interviewed a Tiger, Jeff. It was quite an experience. I didn't know she was going to bite the microphone and just talk into it, but I took a chance.
Well,
you didn't have your Wildcat sweater on, so I'm sure she didn't know who you were, and that's why you didn't get bitten.
Well, I lucked out then. Well, let's go back to the game here a few minutes, guys. The Wildcats hold a 10-point margin here. They've been up by more than that, of course. The Tigers, however, didn't roll over and play dead. They clawed their way back, and they still have their eyes set on a victory, and it's still within their grasp, Dale.
Well, that's correct. We really controlled the action in the first quarter, and in the second quarter, Shelby held their own and even put a little spurt on. I think they had it down to 9 or 8 at one point. But when they really needed a key bucket, they didn't get it, and we got the lead back to 10. I think, in the third quarter, the first 3 or 4 minutes are really going to be important. If Montague can extend that lead going into the fourth quarter, it's going to be hard to beat Montague by when you're down by 12, 15 points, I'd say, going into the fourth quarter. Jeff, what do you think?
I agree with you 100%. I think that first 3 minutes of the third quarter is going to be the key for the rest of the ball game. We're going to have to come out of the locker room and understand that the game starts all over at this point, and you got to quickly get out to that lead again, just as we did the first half. And if we do that, as you said, Dale, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to make a rush at us at the end.
Well, I think a real critical part of the Wildcats' success tonight has been the defense. Both teams are playing well defensively, for sure, but the Wildcats seem to be really pumped up for tonight's game. Of course, Shelby is one of the only 2 teams that beat us. That at Shelby, I believe, by 1 point. And a real exciting contest there, of course. And they want to come back and beat Shelby for a second time this year. And, being pumped up that way has to help them with both offensive and defensively. But the defense has been outstanding, I think.
Well, I think the defense has been outstanding on both ends, but I give the margin to the Wildcats because of the first quarter. I think the Wildcats came out that first quarter pumped up, ready to go, and played that way. I think the Tigers came out a little bit tentative, and their defensive flow suffered, as well as their offensive flow.
Yeah, they scored 14 points in the second quarter, Jeff, and if you even multiply that times 4, I believe you come up with, what did you come up with, 56 points.
56 points, right.
Montague's been giving up about 53 points a game, so that's right close to what their average has been in terms of defense of holding the other team, and that's tremendous. That's just that's a fantastic rate to hold your opponent to less than 55 points a game.
One of the things that we talked about as being a key too is getting Mr. Alexander under control early, and that's exactly what I think one of the keys that got us off the ground and got us really going at the beginning. He had numerous shots blocked. He was checked. Just was not allowed to do much. When he got going a little bit in the second quarter, the difference was, again, they started to creep up on us.
Well, the other night, at first quarter, Shelby scored 33 points, and a lot of that was Craig Alexander. And, tonight, like you said, they held him in check. Eric even stole the ball once from him as he was going in the air.
One of the things you don't find is somebody to match up against Alexander and a lot of other teams. He's so quick. But we have 2 players, I believe, that can match up against him with his quickness. And our defense of scheme of things works so well that we run people in and we come from the backside, and we got a lot of help. And that really lends itself, so if he does get beat, we've got somebody right in front of him again.
Let's comment a little bit about one other thing that you mentioned earlier in the contest, Jeff, and that is the free throw shooting. The Wildcats have had pretty good luck there tonight, missed some, of course, but the Tigers, I think if we had the stats here, would be shown to be the less effective of the 2 teams on the club right now as far as from the charity stripe. And we know that that's a real critical factor. It certainly helped us against the Vikings, and it sure ought to tonight.
Well, all coaches, and I don't care what level you are, you know that free throws are key, and they're going to come during the course of the game, so you better practice them. You better put a lot of time in on them. And we've been very fortunate for quite a while now to have some very good free throw shooters, and when the game's on the line, if you've got those guys going the line, you're going to score a lot of points and some downtime, and you're going to get a chance to regroup defensively, get a rest, get back down there, make a stop or 2, and if they have to foul you again, you're putting some excellent people on the line and excellent opportunities to score more.
That was something I was thinking about, Jeff, as you were talking. In the first half, I don't believe either team is in foul trouble. They don't think they have anybody who's in foul trouble, and really the shots or the fouls that were made in the first half, the fouls that occurred, I should say, really a lot of them were shooting fouls. And so, because I don't believe there were really that many team fouls on either team in the first half. So we'll see how it goes in the second half.
Well,
one other comment I just make. We have 4 of the leading shooters from the line in the league, and Shelby has one in second place in the person of Mr. Kennedy. And I think he was only at the line one time in the first half, as I recall, and that's real critical. When you can keep an 84% shooter off the line, you're doing pretty well in terms of that department. Both clubs are coming back onto the court now, and we're getting fired up again with about 2 minutes left in halftime here. I just want to comment one more time. When I came down here, and Jeff, you were here then, I think you were too, Dale. I came just a little bit after 6, and the game was a 7:30 start. I couldn't believe my eyes. There were just so many cars already in the parking lot, down both sides of the road, and just hundreds and hundreds of people lined up outside the door. I've never seen that in 14 years.
I was told, Larry, and I don't know if this is fact, but I was told that there were people already in line at 4:30 this afternoon. That's when the line actually formed. And when I got here, about 20 to 6, the line was extended into the parking lot and around, going towards the front of the building, or around the front of the building. So,
and what a tribute to pay these kids for what they've done for these 2 communities this year. Just played excellent basketball. Great kids representing both communities, and they put on a super show both times before, and they're doing the same thing tonight. So I think it's a great tribute to the fans in this area. And of course, there are a lot of people from the White Lake area, that aren't from Montague in this gym tonight. So it's a big draw. As we said the other night, our White Lake fans really do an excellent job of supporting the kids in this area, and the Shelby fans do the same up there. What a tribute to the West Michigan Conference.
That's right,
I think this is just fabulous for them as well.
A real difficult district, and if you come out of this district, whichever team it is, you've got a good shot going into the regionals. We'll talk more about that later in the contest, but this district is probably one of the toughest in any class, I'd say, in this area of the state this year.
Well, we've already got one team that's in the regionals from this conference. 3 teams of the better teams of the top 3 teams paired off in this district, and if they'd went to a different district, I think there'd been a very good chance that they could have advanced as well.
You're right, Jeff. Well, there's the buzzer.
As we get into this last half of basketball at Montague High School this year,
doesn't seem right.
No, it doesn't. But if Shelby comes back from a 10-point deficit, they will have deserved to win.
Oh,
I don't think there's any question about it. To play in this gym with this kind of crowd, if they come back, they certainly will have earned it.
Well, you're absolutely correct. Go ahead, Jeff.
And they'll want to cut this lead down to about 4 or 5 by the end of the third quarter, give themselves a chance in that fourth
I'm sure
quarter.
that's what Rick told them. We don't need to get the whole 10 back all at once.
It's real important for Shelby to get off to a really good start here in the third quarter, just like that. Remember, they drew first blood with the first 2 of the first half, and they do the same thing here. 33-25, only an 8-point deficit now for the Tigers. Eric Webb looking inside to Schlaff. Nothing there. Back over the top to Anglem. Anglem against Sullivan. Back to Webb. Guarded by Alexander.
Well, that's exactly what we didn't want to have happen. Now Shelby's got a chance to cut it down to 6.
Well, Eric had the right idea that time. Schlaff was posted up against the Tiger defense, but he couldn't quite get back for the pass. Jason Sullivan cutting it to 6. And the Wildcats need to do some good playing right here.
Just good, smart, heady basketball so far by the Tigers to pull back within 6.
Lindquist to the basket. Fouled on the shot, I believe, by number 22, Jason Kennedy. Scott saw a little bit of opening there and beat his man to the basket.
It's his first foul, so we were right. No one's really in trouble out there.
Lindquist at the line on the season, about 70%. It's 52 of 74. He's made 3 tonight. 34-27. One more shot, goes in. The Wildcats in the fourth quarter against the Vikings missed only 1 free throw, Dale. And we hope they have the same bad luck the second half tonight.
Just phenomenal. Mark Snyder, I know, hit 9 out of 10.
Nice steal that time by Schlaff, running down court against Grants. Grants putting on the pressure. We're going to have a foul called on
Grants, I believe.
Grants, I
believe. Yep. That's going to be his second, I think.
That might not have been a bad foul. Of course, they were far from the basket, but if Schlaff gets around Grants, it's 2.
That's correct.
Wildcats maintain possession with an 8-point lead, 35-27, 6:46 in the half. Or excuse me, in the quarter. Inside to Anglem from 13, has it blocked, but Lindquist picks it up. Lindquist back to the top now, guarded by Alexander. Anglem out deep. Webb now setting up the offense once again. We note that the Tigers are in the zone defense now. Lindquist saves it off the rebound. Gets it back to Schlaff. Anglem now off the left foot, no good.
Boy, Scott had good position down there. It was just the ball came a little bit too far out for Grants to grab onto it.
Grants has a little height advantage on Scott,
right.
Just a little.
And Ryan looked a little tentative in shooting that ball those 2 times. He's got a nice shot, and when he just goes up nice and strong with it, he puts a lot of points on the board.
Steal by Webb. Webb up, no good.
That was a great drive, great steal. The only thing I was missing was
Highcoop in front of Schlaff, off the glass, good. Highcoop's had some important baskets for the Tigers tonight, Jeff.
Right, and he uses that glass very well inside. Make sure he gets that a chance for that ball to go in every time he puts it up.
Once again, a 6-point lead for the Wildcats. Eric Webb fouled on the shot, I believe by Alexander or Highcoop, one or the other. We'll wait and see.
I have a question to ask you. Who's quicker, Eric Webb or Craig Alexander?
I don't know. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to race either of them.
How can we test that? I don't know.
They're both very, very quick. It was Alexander with his second personal. 13 foul. The Wildcats have 0 team fouls this half.
Eric Webb gives one of the best head fakes that I've seen.
Oh, definitely. And he's got such quick feet when he gets you lulled one way just by...
Yes.
Just moving his feet slowly one way, and all of a sudden he just explodes the other way.
There's really very little Eric Webb can't do. He's a leaper, too. I mean, you get him underneath the basket with that rebound in mind, and my golly, he's going to get it 90% of the time, I think.
That's for sure.
Across the timeline, Kennedy, number 22.
There's an example how fast Eric reacts again.
Kennedy over the top, and Lindquist pulls down the rebound this time. Lindquist bringing it back up. And now we have a man-to-man defense for the Tigers as they switch once again from the zone. Lindquist has it go off, left-handed layup, a little too hard, and it...
Oh, he almost came back and got a steal.
Lindquist with the steal this time. Good! 39-29, 10-point difference now for the Wildcats.
Well, Scott just kept it up, and he finally got that steal he was looking for.
The Tigers get it back, and a 3-point shot is no good by Grants as he's fouled by Mark Schneider, I believe. And if that's on the shot, will there be a special arrangement here?
No,
I'm not sure.
No, there's not.
2 points?
2 points.
In some of the leagues in college, there's
college.
That's right. Okay.
If you shoot a 3-point, get fouled, you get 3 shots. But
don't test me tonight, Larry.
Well, you did so well last time.
I know I did.
Speaking of that fact, though, I think you're probably going to see that come down.
Change, yes. Because at the end of a ball game, if a team's behind by 3, why not foul them in the backcourt?
That's exactly right.
Grant's at the line for 2. Good. Well, the Wildcats find themselves ahead by 9, but it's been pretty even this half so far, Jeff. Back and forth.
Well, Grants has got a nice shot wherever he puts it up at, and you can't let him get hot. You always got to have somebody in his face. Got to keep him away from the basket. I'd much rather have him shooting outside, even with that good shot.
4:36 remaining. 39-31 Wildcats. Lindquist into Cotter. Cotter from 8 off the front of the rim. Schlaff, no good. And the Tigers come away with it. Nice inside position that time by Jason Sullivan. We interviewed Jason's mother before the contest. I'm sure she's proud of the way her son is playing tonight. Grant, that was a cool move.
Yes.
It was an all-conference move.
Good move. Jason turned to the middle, saw he didn't have anything. Just rolled to the baseline and then turn around jumper.
Schlaff whirls it in.
There's another all-conference move.
41-38, 8-point lead now.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Alexander from 8.
You can't give him that 8-foot jump shot.
You can't allow him to do that.
6-point lead, 41-35 with 3:40 in the third quarter. Wildcats back to the attack. Man-to-man defense, stack offense. Lindquist to the paint, off to Cotter. Cotter has a slip out of his hands. And Lindquist is going to be fouled, I believe, by Alexander.
It's going to be number 3 on him. That's a big foul, Jeff, Larry.
It really is.
That's an awful big call.
That's a real critical foul for the Tigers. First.
That's his third.
Excuse me, that's his third foul. And that's
that could have went either way. Could have went against the other Shelby player that was involved in that play too, but Alexander got the call.
Cotter has it stolen by number 25, who scored the basket, Jason Sullivan.
This is exactly where Rick Zulik wants to be, right here. He's back within 4.
They haven't lost their cool, Jeff.
It's important to note that the Wildcats haven't the Tigers haven't panicked, and now the Tigers have a chance to cut it to 2. Alexander, nice move, pass down low to Sherman, inside to Grant. Good! 2-point difference now. Tate with the ball. Over the top to Schlaf. 2:50 remaining. Schlaf inside. Offensive foul is the call against Grant. Well, the Tigers have come back strong, and they've done an excellent job with 2:48 remaining. There's a timeout on the floor called by the Wildcats, leading by 2, 31-39. We're going to take a timeout right here and go down to court side for another interview, this time with Shelby Tiger senior Keith Rembrandt. Okay, we're sitting right here in the midst of the Shelby Tiger fans right now, as you can tell, and with me is Keith Rembrandt from Shelby High School. Keith, what grade are you in?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior. This game was a little important to you then, is that right?
Yeah, I guess.
Keith was a football player, an all-conference football player. Is that right, Keith?
Yep.
Congratulations on your excellent football season. What do you think has been the key to the success of the Tigers basketball team this season?
Oh, they're playing more like a team this year. They don't usually do that, and they're doing that real well.
Okay, well, how many people do you think you brought down here from Shelby with you tonight?
How many people? How many people we got here?
About 270,000.
270,000, a pretty close estimate, I'd say. Keith, what do you look for in terms of the action tonight? What do you think is going to happen, let's say, in the early part of the game?
I don't know. Shelby usually gets out to a pretty good start. I think we might be ahead on the first half, and it'll be a close game the whole way.
Okay, well, on behalf of the Montague Wildcats and all the people down here, we do wish the Shelby Tigers good luck. Thanks for joining us. Well, there you have it, the perspective of Keith Rembrandt, a loyal Tiger fan, of course, cheering his Tigers back to within 2 here in the third quarter. What a comeback, Jeff and Dale. That's fantastic.
Credit the Tigers, a super comeback. But the Wildcats last couple times down got a little out of their game. Let the Tigers dictate the flow of things. The next thing you know, if you're not hitting those things, you start playing their game, you're in trouble, and that's exactly what's happened.
Right. We've got to get back to control of the game. Just get back in the flow.
Alexander again over to Zulik from 3. Good!
Two, right foot on the line.
Well, that was 2, okay.
This is what was always kind of in the back of my mind, Jeff and Larry, the other night. They can get hot so fast.
Oh, absolutely correct, and they've shown it here. Schlaf off the glass, good!
That's what we need to do. We got to go to Doug.
And that's the Wildcats game. That's the Wildcats game.
Grant's looking on the inside against Schlaf over the top. And Lindquist comes away with an important rebound now. You got to slow it down here a little bit, Wildcats. Set up that offense. Lindquist looking over to Webb. 1:57 remaining in the third quarter. Cats up by 2. Schneider working against Sherman. Webb from the top, setting up the play once again. Wildcats just working the ball nicely, taking some time off the clock. This will pay off if they can score here. Schneider against Sherman. Cotter looking inside the Lindquist, and it goes almost off.
He walked with the ball. That's what we can't try to do. We can't try to force it in like that.
That's exactly what they tried to do, just force it. There was nothing there. She just rotated around, got it back in on the opposite side, or ran some more time off the clock.
That's right. Well, Cotter gets a breather as Anglin comes back in. Wildcats still up by 2, but having trouble scoring here in this third quarter, late in the third quarter. Kennedy against Lindquist. Alexander guarded by Webb. Alexander to the left baseline. Knocked by Schraub. No, I think he was trying to dump it inside to Justin Grant's.
Well, I think he went up and didn't really know what he was going to do. Hey, I think it was
the last option,
and then I was going to pass, and then now what do I do?
There's Sherman, third leading three-point shooter in the league. Grants back to Sherman, up for 3. No good, and Schlaff, nice inside position for the rebound. Schlaff, up, good!
He's a money ball player.
Well,
when he's on the line.
Reed just kind of saw people.
4-point difference now for the Wildcats. Make that 2. 45-43 with 45 seconds.
Grants tonight. He's played off really well.
Excellent game.
Well, Grants was held down quite well in the first half by good defense, but he's certainly come to life here.
Yeah, we're going to go for the last one.
He'll be back. Yes, 4 to score, I'm sure, is what Coach Tate has told his Wildcat Chargers. 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Lindquist working against Sherman. Over the top to Webb.
Down to 12 seconds, Larry.
Inside to Schlaff. 7-footer, good! 6 seconds in the quarter. Sherman working for the three-point shot. Inside it is. No good, and I don't believe the basket will count. No basket is the call, so the Wildcats find themselves up by 4, 47-43, with 8 minutes left in District 83 tournament action. And folks, we'll be right back for the conclusion of tonight's contest after an interview with some more folks here. Number 1, we're going to go to a Montague High School student, Amy Osterhart, and we're following up with Ruth and Bernie Tobin of Shelby. Take it away from the floor. Welcome back once again to the floor of Montague High School. We have 27 minutes and 35 seconds until game time, and the excitement is just awesome. It's really intense here. And with me now is Amy Osterhart, Montague High School senior. Amy, can you tell me a little bit about your experience in Montague High School? What do you think about Montague High School in general?
I think it's a great place to go to school. I've enjoyed my 4 years here, and I'm just really excited right now.
Well, Amy, I can't help but be excited with you. Tell me a little bit about the excitement that you feel right now. What do you think is generating all that enthusiasm?
Oh, the great season we've had this year as the past 3 years. It's just great to be a senior with the 4-year district win here.
That's right. I didn't think about that, but you've been here maybe for 4 times of a district championship, so you've really been involved in it. Well, Amy, we wish you the best of luck. What are you going to do when you graduate?
I plan to go on to Northern Michigan and study photography.
Okay, well, best wishes to you, okay? Thanks for joining us.
What are you doing this for?
With me now on the floor is a lady from Shelby, obviously, and her husband. This is Ruth and Bernie Tobin, is that right? Well, what do you think about the excitement, Ruth? Have you ever seen anything like this before in high school athletics?
Not since the first year we came to Shelby, and they were in the state championships that year, but nothing like it since then.
Okay, well, Bernie, what do you think? Shelby's had a very successful season, so have the Wildcats. What do you think we can expect in terms of action on the court? What will be a key to the success for the Tigers?
Well, I think we got to play good defense. I think that's going to be very important, and I think that's the key to it. Shelby playing good defense.
I think you're probably right, and the same is true with us. We score about the same. Montague scoring 73 points a game and Shelby 71. So whoever can hold the defensive end out on top, I think has a good chance to win.
I think we've got to stop Schlaff, and I think that's going to be a key.
I think you're absolutely correct. What's it feel like being over here amongst the Wildcat fans, though, Ruth?
I'm just glad to have a seat.
Did you have to stand in line?
No, we got right in because we had tickets, but I must say that the Wildcat fans have been really nice about letting us sit amongst them.
Well, thank you. Even though you have the purple shirts on, we wish you the best of luck, okay?
Thank you.
You bet. See you now. Crowd noise is deafening, gentlemen, as we get set for the conclusion of tonight's contest. And I'm just really impressed that Tigers came back. We mentioned that they had their sights set on that comeback, and they've done it, masterminded a comeback. And the Wildcats, on the other hand, didn't completely panic. They're still in the lead by 4.
Well, the Tigers came out the third quarter and just played their ball game and got the Wildcats to play their ball game. And I'm sure Rick Zulik told them at halftime, listen, guys, we didn't play very well at the beginning of the ball game. We're only down by 10. We get half goes in the third quarter, and that's about where they are. They're only 4 down. They got a little bit more than half. And we're in a position we can take this thing. We haven't been here since 1980. Wouldn't it be great?
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and make a prediction that it's going to come down to free throws the last minute.
Well,
probably
a lot of our teams have been that way.
That's kind of a safe bet, isn't it?
At this rate, it surely is.
Looks like Jim may go to the 4 corner right now.
Yes, he is. With a 4-point lead. That shows confidence in the Wildcats, of course. Back out to Webb from the inside. Webb with the spin. Paint. Lindquist. Up. No good this time. Not a real good selection that time, probably. And Keith Kulik is called for the travel. Todd Giddings stopped and he moved his pivot foot.
Well, how many times does that really just hurt you? I mean, it seems like it hurts all the time, but especially in a situation like that.
Well, and that just shows you don't have to block everything.
Webb over to Lindquist. I think we're going to have the foul on Webb after the pass was made, I believe. After the pass, but I think that's the call. We'll wait and see. That's his first personal. That's what they posted. And we'll have Shelby ball out of bounds underneath the Wildcat basket. Well, Eric drove the paint that time, found it blocked, looked for the man, and got the ball out, but he couldn't avoid the collision.
Well, Eric probably would have been best if he'd have pulled right up at the free throw line, popped a little jumper. He had it open, and his quickness is going to get him that just about every time he wants it. But he's trying to be unselfish and get the ball to somebody else, and that sometimes happens.
Sullivan working back to Alexander. Alexander has it knocked away by Eric Webb. Webb down the court. Oh, good. Basket by Webb.
Rick Zulik is not happy with that. He wanted to foul out further, but Todd Gillings did not call it until Eric went up with the shot. And so he's not going to get that. It's going to be a 3-point opportunity here.
Oh, what a steal. That ball actually hit Scott in the face and bounded right back. And
Eric, Scott, that's usually in your head, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Keith Zulik's second personal. Webb at the line. In and out. And Grants comes down with it this time. So the Tigers, trailing by 6, bring it back up court. 6:53 remaining in the contest. Alexander's been quiet from three-point land, but he's had some critical baskets inside and rebounds in the first half. Schlaff gets a rebound off from Kennedy's or Sullivan's shot.
Well, when you need a big rebound, Doug Schlaff is there some of the time too.
Absolutely.
Doug does something a lot of players his side can't do. Not only
Lindquist
not only can he get that big rebound, but he can take it up the court.
Yeah, have a foul called on Alexander.
When we look back on things, that may be the key play of the game right there. We get the possession of the ball. It's also Alexander's 4th foul.
That's right.
And one heck of a steal by Scott. Larry's not going to say that, but see, that's what I like about Scott. He takes a shot, he misses it. Some kids will get sit down on himself, but Scott went right in there for a second effort.
And now he's at the line, going to shoot
that's right.
one.
He made a heck of a play.
Thank you, Dale. Be a one and bonus situation.
I think he's going to have to bring Craig out, don't you think? Yeah,
here he goes. Yeah.
Well, that also, as you said, that really hurts him because he really kind of runs the show.
Yes.
And it puts a lot of pressure on the other guys.
He controls the tempo.
That's exactly right.
Lindquist can't get it to go now. Anglin with an important rebound, and Schneider picks up at the top. 6-point lead remaining. Schneider with the foul. That's the third or fourth, I think, team foul for the Wildcats. That's probably not a bad move on Schneider's part there either. It is the fourth. They still had the one to give, and the breakaway could have done it the two right away.
You'll all recall the Whitehall game here, the second game we played Whitehall. We had 2 fouls to give in the last.
Potter with a near steal.
In the last few minutes of the game, we still had 2 fouls to give, and I really think that was instrumental in our being able to win that game.
Oh, definitely so, definitely so. If Mark hadn't got that steal at the end, he certainly could have fouled and would not have given them an opportunity.
Right. We're not going to be in quite in that situation now, but.
Keith Zulik picks up his dribble. That's Sullivan working against Lindquist. Excuse me, that's Kennedy. Grants now against Schlaff from 14. Over the top, and Lindquist comes away with it. Lindquist has it picked off. And it's picked up by Potter. Good save.
We lucked out there.
We surely did. Well, we lucked out once, but not twice. Lindquist, I think might have been called for the same kind of tripping that the Wildcats had the advantage of before. I think we're going to have a timeout on the court. I'm not sure who called it.
Well, you know,
we lucked out on that one, guys.
The Wildcats are not taking care of the ball.
No, they're not.
They're not reading things very well, and they're just not taking care of the ball, getting sloppy, and if they don't watch out, it's going to cost them because you got some very hungry Tigers on the other side that are really scrapping and going after everything.
I would venture to guess that's a point that Jim's telling them right now. They got to take care of that ball wherever they're at on that court.
Well, you know, the Wildcats have held the advantage in turnovers, plus minus throughout the season, but the last part of the season, they were a little less able to control that plus minus average. And certainly against the Vikings, that was no exception. We had more turnovers than did Whitehall, and that hurts. It hurts any time, but when you're only up by 6, boy, that's 2 3-point baskets, and it's tied up.
Are you guys palm sweating?
Only since the start of the game.
Only since I got here.
I don't think Coach Pete's going to put me in. My stomach is still rolling.
It's a good thing we're past this stage of competitiveness, I guess.
Well, we have Wildcat Bar, Schlaff, Webb, Lindquist, Cotter, and Schneider. Heikoop, Sullivan, Grants, Zulik, and Alexander for the Tigers. Webb at the top. Baseline is the play that they're running. Inside to Lindquist, off the side of his foot, I guess. Turnover Wildcats. We just talked about those.
The last 5 minutes are going to really play a big part.
Kennedy bringing it over and back, it's called.
I was just going to say the Tigers are doing an excellent job of handling the ball against our press, and then, of course, that happens, but that's exactly what it's designed to do. Make the other team turn the ball over, even when they're doing a decent job, in critical situations just like that.
5:15 remaining in the game, 49-43 Cats. Schlaff from Cotter, no good, and Cotter, it's going to be Wildcat ball off the leg of Grants, I believe.
Big rebound by Matt Cotter again.
Really was.
I'll tell you, you got 2 teams out here that don't want to put their uniforms away.
No, that's right.
Lindquist from 3, over the top again, and that's number 25, Jason Sullivan with the rebound. Sullivan, Kennedy, 4:44 remaining. Inside, knocked out of bounds by Lindquist.
Great play by Scott, coming to help from behind. Doug in front of him.
Well, that's exactly what Doug has to count on, is somebody coming from behind to help him out when he's fronting.
Kennedy, Lindquist with the foul. That'll be his 3rd personal on the shot, so Kennedy will be at the line for 2.
Boy, and he's a good shooter at the line, too. He's, I remember when we were up there at Shelby, he hit any number of free throws. He's the 2nd in the conference at 80% almost 84%.
And the Wildcats aren't taking advantage of Alexander's absence. He's been out for a couple minutes now, getting some good rest to make that run. And, anytime you speak about somebody who shoots well, so keep on talking, Dale.
Well, he's hitting almost the infamous 84%, Pete.
Make that 83 now.
And I think it's going to be Shelby ball as it's knocked out of bounds by the Wildcats.
You just hate to see that, don't you?
Oh, I'll tell you, poor Coach Tate is just, if he had a towel, he's wringing it, or if he isn't, he's wringing his hands because it just shouldn't happen.
Justin Grants over to Kennedy. Kennedy from 13.
I don't know how he could have ever seen that, Jeff.
I don't either. He was way underneath, and the call was made out on top. But I think the officials overall today have done a wonderful job. Actually, they've had a difficult task, but performed admirably.
Oh, you've got a game that's just, clawing and digging and scratching and everything for position as well as for points. And, these guys have just done an excellent job.
Yeah, he's really thinking about him now. Missing 3 in a row. That's a tough situation for a kid to be in.
Right. If you were a Wildcat, you'd want anybody but Kennedy to be at the line. And now he's back on target. But draws the Tigers within 5, 49-44. And the Wildcats haven't scored here in the last minute and a half to 2 minutes, Jeff.
Well, and I'm sure that's exactly what Coach Tate has said, guys. We've got to get some good scoring opportunities. We've got to get it in the hole. We can't be pumping them up from 3-point and those things. We've got a 5-point lead. All we have to do is get 2, make a stop. If they get 1, we're still, we're still taking the advantage. So, we've got to do a better job.
Okay, let's go down on court one more time here as we have 4:25 remaining in the fourth quarter. Let's see if the Wildcat cheerleaders will give us a little word of support and fire up those Wildcat players. Take it away, gals. Okay, well, we're standing here amongst the Montague High School cheerleaders. Cheerleaders, what's it feel like to be involved in all this excitement?
It's great to be out here with all the spirit and all the fans yelling.
Okay, well, Nita, we know that you're from Sweden, a Swedish exchange student that's been with us all year. You don't have high school athletics in Sweden, is that right?
No, we don't, and I think this is great. It is an experience for me, and I just love it.
What kind of athletics opportunities do you have in Sweden?
Well, see, that is outside the school, and you don't get the same spirit as we have here. I mean, it's just empty feelings in Sweden.
Okay, well, have you enjoyed your year here at Montague High School?
Oh, I have, 100%.
Okay, well, we wish you all the best of luck. Give one word of optimistic cheer for the Wildcat victory tonight.
Go Cats!
Go Cats!
Good luck! Go Cats! Win!
Win, all right. A nice low to end that. Thank you much and good luck to you, okay? Well, there you have it. A whole bunch of Wildcat girls hoping their team emerged victorious, and right now they're on top by 5, but it's not certain who's going to come out on top at the final buzzer, obviously. Tension is just tremendous right now. I can't imagine what it feels like to be on the court in front of almost 1,400 people, and 4:25 left in a district tournament final. Webb setting the ball up for the Wildcats. Schneider inside to Cotter. Cotter has it blocked, but Haiku fouls at the same time. It looked like a pretty good block from the top to me. Maybe he got him with the body.
Well, I would have guessed that that's where they called it on. Boy, they really are physical. They really bump out there. It's a question of when they're going to say it's too much of a bump.
Cotter 79% from the charity stripe for the regular season. Good pressure pack free throw from Matt Cotter. Puts the Wildcats up by 6. And now 7. Kennedy coming across the line. Kennedy over to Sullivan.
That was a good no call, don't you think, Jeff?
I would think so. You don't want it after you've let a lot of pushing and shoving go to the whole ball game. You don't want to call a touch foul like
Zulik
that.
from 3. Lindquist with the rebound off the hard bounce back. 3:51 remaining.
He's going to go to the far corner, isn't he?
You're absolutely correct, Dale. Over to Webb.
And pull him out of that zone.
Try to bring him out, and inside it goes to Schlaf. Back low to Cotter. Top to Lindquist. Lindquist moving against the outside. Schneider, Webb, Schneider.
That's the way to move that ball.
Offensive scheme of things. It works well to take the time off. You have to be sure you play excellent with the ball, however. Not throw it away. Try to work it in like that for the easy one, and it worked perfectly.
And that took off about a minute.
Yeah. And I'm sure Coach Zulik is saying, boy, we just can't let him get in that situation.
Lindquist with a deflection, and Eric Webb called with a foul as he took off against Keith Zulik. Well, gentlemen, we have 2:58 remaining in an 9-point lead now.
What would you have done there, Pete? You just really want to hold the ball, slow it down again.
That's exactly right. Scotty worked so hard to get that ball, and Eric thought, boy, I get that and get it up, and he just ran right into Zulik and turned the ball right back over. And not only that, but that gives the Tigers an opportunity to get Alexander back in the ball game.
That's exactly right. And I think that's a smart move by Coach Zulik to rest Alexander as much as he could for the final run. Eric Webb tried to save it for the Wildcats. Alexander, inside it is. There's Alexander again from 14, over the top. Grant's no good, and Schlaf with the rebound. Big important rebound for Schlaf. Inside it is to Lindquist. No good. Over the top, and Kennedy comes away with it. With 2.5 minutes exactly remaining in the game, and a 9-point lead for the Wildcats. That's 4 possessions minimum. 3 possessions minimum if they all are threes.
No.
Foul on Eric Webb.
Well, there's one thing we don't want to do is put them at the line, right, Pete?
That's exactly. If they're going to hit it and you're going to win it, you want to make it sure it's from the floor. You don't want to put them at that line. You stop the clock. It's kind of a double whammy. You stop the clock, give them a chance to recoup as well as get 2 points back on that board.
Keep kicking.
That's right.
We got 2:17 left. Larry, why do you want me to talk? Are you nervous?
I'm always nervous, Dale.
Well, you sound so calm all the time.
Alexander with that miss, and Cotter with a great rebound for the Wildcats. Cotter with the ball, gets it back to Eric Webb. Paint drive by Eric, off to Schlaf. Glass, no good. And Kennedy, Sullivan with the rebound. Alexander, Sullivan, over the top, Schlaf.
I think the Wildcats would be much smarter just to take the time off the clock.
We're under 2 minutes, folks, under 2 minutes, and I'm thinking we're going to have Schlaf at the line.
That's not necessarily a good person to put at the line either. Of course, with Montague, you really don't have anybody
That's right.
Anybody that you could say is really a weak link at all.
That's right. Tate, Schlaf, Cotter, and Schneider all on the top 10, and Tate, and Schlaf is number 4 at 83% for the season. 53-44, 150 exactly remaining.
Again, the thing the Wildcats have to realize, they have a 10-point lead right now. They don't need any more points. All they need to do is, when they get that ball, is to handle it right, make sure they move it, don't get the 5 seconds called on them.
And Shelby, on the other hand, is going to, if anything, rush it.
Just like that, there's Sherman. They've got him in there for the 3-point efforts, I'm sure. Grant's from inside the... And good! It's Grant. Makes it 55-46. Schlaf followed by Grant along the side. Well, you almost had to do that again, guys. Schlaf would have been in the open lane to the basket.
Well, they're in a situation where they have to foul. They have to get the ball back. And the Wildcats have to play smart and say, you're not going to get it back.
I think what you're going to see is almost that kind of play for the next minute 36, where Montague gets the ball, they'll get fouled, go to the line.
And so far, the Tigers have been real smart about their fouls. they've not been making them a intentional variety.
Okay, let's take one more time down on the court here as we interview T.P. Johnson, who is a member of the Pep Club and has been in charge of that spirit flag all season long. Take it away, T.P. Welcome back once again to Montague High School, where with me now is T.P. Johnson, a loyal Wildcat supporter throughout the last several months here. T.P., a real important part of our program this season has been the Pep Club, and you've been a part of that, haven't you?
Yeah. Yes.
What have you liked best about the Pep Club, T.P.?
Well, we've really supported the teams and really kept up the spirit of the school and that stuff like that.
Okay, well, we hear a lot of that spirit behind us right now, T.P. Well, let me just ask you another question before we wrap up here. One of the most important things that you do as a part of the Pep Club, I think, is to be in charge of that Pep flag. What gave you the idea? What gave the Pep Club the idea of a spirit flag?
Well, Mrs. Rubley and the Pep Club just thought we ought to have something fun like that. So they bought it, had it made, and somehow I got stuck with it.
Well, TP, you've done a nice job, and I think it's important for fans to know that whenever possible, you've just gone in front of Montague Wildcat fans. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we wish you the best of luck as a Pep Club member and the Spirit Flag waiver tonight, okay?
Thanks.
You bet. Well, there it is, folks. There is that Spirit Flag that TP was talking about, and he's done just an excellent job all season long for the Wildcats as a real leader in that Pep Club as he takes the Spirit Flag around the gymnasium.
You know what, Larry, I'd like to take my hats off one more time, my hat off. Maybe you guys don't want to take yours off, but I'll take my hat off one more time to the referees tonight. I think just a super job these gentlemen have done. And
there's a lot of pressure on them too, Pete.
Excellent.
And,
you know, just an excellent job.
They're trying to do the best job that they can.
Well, I think they're two of the better officials around the area,
yes.
Johnny Robinson and Todd Geerlings. And I know Jim was pleased when he knew that they were going to be the referees in the final game here in the district. Well, Schroff has a little problem on that one, and the Tigers have life. Sherman cutting to the basket, up, off the front, no good. Sherman with his own rebound, going back out. It is to, well, now it's inside to Grant. Good! 55-48, 7-point difference with 1:20 remaining. Webb along the right sideline. Webb going to have a foul called, I believe, on Keith Zillick, number 15.
Really, again, I don't know what other call they could have made. It's one of those tough ones. But
that was a tough one, you're right.
Well, Johnny Robinson made it without much hesitation, and as a result, Eric Webb will get a chance again from the charity stripe with 1-1-1. 71 ticks of the clock left, Dale.
Well, I said a few minutes ago it's going to come down to free throws with less than 2 minutes, and I think I'm probably right.
Just you and Karnak have that kind of extrasensory perception.
I put the envelope up to my head.
Well, anybody could have made that prediction.
Maybe some of our fans out there couldn't figure that out. Probably not very many, but... And Webb sinks the second. 57-48, 9-point difference. And we're going to have a blocking foul this time on Eric Webb as
again, I just don't see the sense in that. I don't mean to be critical, but...
No. You know, that's just Eric's nature, though. Aggressive, and but he's got to back off a little bit. Not allow Alexander.
We're putting him into the line where we don't want him.
Can't allow Alexander and Grant to be the guys that are going to beat you.
1 minute and 10 seconds until we have a district championship, barring a comeback and a tie game here. 57-49, 8-point lead now. A chance to cut it to 7.
I feel good about our kids being here in this position.
Oh. Well, they're in charge. If they happen to drop this contest, they would have no one to blame but themselves. 57-50, like Jeff said, they really don't need any more points.
That's a technical foul, I believe.
Technical foul. Well, is that a technical or not? I guess they're going to say it was was across the plane. Apparently across the plane when he hit it out of bounds. Ball goes down court to Schneider. Schneider up. Good! Oh, what a play! What a play! Did they call that, Jeff?
Well, I didn't see it be called, but Doug was looking for it as soon as he was handing the ball, and Mark took off. And
that may have been the home run.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Reminiscent of some other time that Mark Schneider had an important drive and basket toward the end of the contest.
I can't think of a bigger play than what we just saw right there.
You're absolutely right. And Schneider, of course, shooting 78% on the season. Well, he gets that one a little bit off the front of the rim, but with exactly, Schneider, exactly 1 minute, folks, 1 minute, 1 minute left. Wildcats just need to run the time off the clock, which they're doing now. Webb drives through and picks up the foul on number 25, I believe.
Somebody's got to start breaking open so Eric can get him the ball, but everybody's standing around watching Eric. And
feeling pretty good about our chances with 9-point lead, 52 seconds. We want to talk.
Well, I told you before the ball game I thought it was going to be a 9-point game, and we're right there. So,
well, you're both prognosticators. Extraordinaire. Well, we have a timeout on the floor, 59-50 with 52 ticks left. That's Shelby's timeout. And, you know, I remember one time in a college game this season, my son plays at Alma, and they were down by 8 points with 16 seconds left on the clock, and they won. They tied it up at the buzzer, and then they won in overtime. So if you're a Shelby fan out there, folks, don't give up hope. You're still in the game even though you're lying down. 3 quick baskets, 3 threes, and that'll be it.
You know, I don't think any coach or player or fan feels comfortable until they see about 1 second left on that clock. You're in possession and up by 5.
That's right. I know that's exactly how I felt when I was over on that bench.
You bet.
In fact, I'd rather be up by about 15 or 25.
Stranger things have happened in basketball.
You bet.
Well, the Wildcat Gals, as just mentioned here, played in the regionals for volleyball action today, and they came up against a strong surge by their opponents in the first game of the day, or the first contest of the day, and ended up losing in 3. Shelby was in the finals. We're not sure who they played and how the game came out, but we know Shelby was in the finals here tonight at Montague High School, and they were also in the volleyball finals in Nuevo.
Eric's been here before, ain't he, Jeff? And Larry.
Well, we talked about that earlier.
He just hit 4 or 6.
There it is again.
There it is again.
Absolutely fantastic pressure shot by Eric Webb. They just have to let it go. They can afford that now. 46 seconds, 61-52 is the score. Webb looking for Schneider, finds him. Schneider ahead to Cotter. Cotter back out to Schlaff. Lindquist back on top to Webb. Webb has it taken away and it's picked up by Keith Zulik. Zulik, good! 61-54. 20 seconds left. Lindquist, fouled, I believe, by Grants. Lindquist from Schlaff, and Lindquist will be at the line with 14 seconds left, a 7-point difference.
Well, I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable. I don't know. I still think that, we got just a little bit loose down here. We didn't take care of it again. And Rick Zulik, or I should say Keith Zulik, I'm sorry, Keith, made a nice steal on Eric. You just can't get too relaxed out there.
Well, that's right. Now, if the Wildcats are smart again, they will let Zulik go all the way. Just make sure it takes a little time off the court. Has to dribble the full length of the court. Let him go in for the 2.
Yep.
You know, don't give him that opportunity for 3, because if we don't make these, that's going to give them a 2-possession opportunity instead of a 3-possession.
Yes. Interesting you note that, Jeff, because at the end of the contest, as Scottville and Shelby played here Monday night, Shelby was ahead, of course, but right at the buzzer, if you recall, a gentleman from Scottville had a breakaway, pulled up for the 3 and made it right at the buzzer. Yeah. So they can still do that here and get the 3, but you have to be a heady player to think of that. Of course, Shelby has some heady players on the court.
Oh, they right now, even if Scott misses this one, going for the rebound is going to take some time off the clock. To get it up court, it's going to take 3 or 4 seconds at least. So.
The Wildcats are doing a smart thing. They're pulling people back now with 14 seconds with a 7-point lead.
That's right.
They're not having anybody up there with Scott. You know, give them the rebound, give them the shot, but just make them take time off. Play good sound
I would
defense.
guess Rick is going to tell them to go for 3 if they can.
Well, I'm sure he
would think so, at least. Yes.
Looking good.
Good is Lindquist, 62-54, an 8-point difference now. Remember, folks, there are 14 ticks left, 14 seconds in the district tournament.
There it is.
63-54, 9 points Alexander letting it roll as much as he can before the clock starts. Sherman from 3. Over the top. Lindquist gets the ball on the rebound. Lindquist fouled by number 22. That's Jason Kennedy.
How you feeling now, guys?
Well, I think I can almost breathe a little easy. Even if my son misses this one, I'll forgive him.
I'm feeling a whole lot better.
I can breathe again.
Jeff and I don't even have a son playing, but I don't know. I haven't been this nervous for a ball game in a long time.
And Eric Webb going out and getting a standing ovation, and well deserved.
Potter going out.
Potter and Sloth as well.
Sloth going out. Richards coming back in for the Tigers.
Those guys have played pretty well as juniors and seniors and sophomores.
Both teams getting a very fine hand. This is a standing room only standing ovation. Just absolutely incredible. Incredible. I just can't describe the feeling I'm having right now, Jeff. Good. 64-54, 10-point lead.
You know, when they have it down to 2 points, right?
Yes, they had it down to 2 points.
Our kids just didn't lose it. I mean, that's all there is to it. They just wanted it.
And that's Scott Lindquist going out and also getting a standing ovation.
Well, we have all new players in for both teams now for the final 7 seconds. And there the clock starts. 5. Sherman. Good at the buzzer. Good. 65-57. Montague Wildcats emerge as District 83 tournament champions by a final score of 65-57, 8-point difference. And the Tigers are disappointed, of course, but boy, they gave us all we wanted tonight. They were just absolutely not going to give up. And of course, they even went ahead, gentlemen, in the third quarter. They took a 1-point lead for a very short period of time.
You couldn't ask for a finer basketball game by two better teams in terms of excitement, intensity, rivalry. It had everything. Montague gets out to a 14-point lead after 1 quarter. Shelby fights back, has it down to 10 and a half.
10 and a half.
And then they cut it down to 4 at the end of the third quarter. And I think Montague's experience and having been here before probably paid off more than what we could ever imagine in the fourth quarter.
I think this is certainly going to bode well for Shelby come down the road as Grants, Highcoop, and a couple of other ball players are coming back next year. And they certainly are going to be looking ahead to this same experience next year, but being here with the experience.
Well, you noted that several are coming back. They have many seniors on the court, but they also have lots of juniors and a couple of sophomores, as you said, and so they'll be back. Well, we're going to go down court as soon as we can for the district tournament trophy presentations, along with the pins, as they'll be presented by high school principal Roger Finland to the victorious Wildcats. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that regional competition, give you directions to the site of the regionals in just a few minutes, folks. So don't go away if you're interested in knowing more about that regional action that take place beginning next Tuesday night. Roger Finland, the high school principal, getting ready to present the pins as the public events announcer, Mr. Paul Schlaff, is about to introduce the Wildcat players. Number 10, Cody Vander West, coming out on the court. Number 22, Brad Tate. Junior, both juniors, they'll be back.
I want to just say how appreciative I've been of the sportsmanship that I've seen at this tournament. Thursday night with Whitehall, exemplary on both sides. Particularly Kim Griffin going into the hospitality room after the game, congratulating all the Montague kids. That's just a sign of real class. Seeing Rick Zulik here now, applauding all of the kids from Montague.
Yes.
That's
Matter of fact, folks, you see a semicircle being formed around the players on the court by the fans. Both Shelby and Montague fans out there. Well, number 24, Mark Pascavas. Number 40, Jamie Hooks. Number 42, Mark Schneider. Number 52, Jim Sweeney. Number 54, Matt Cotter. Matt will be attending Duke University, North Carolina next year. Number 20, Scott Lindquist, a junior, coming back for one more season of varsity action, I'm sure. Number 34, senior Doug Shaw, leading rebounder in the league, second leading scorer in the league, just an all-conference candidate, being recruited by colleges right now. Ryan Anglin, absolutely fantastic season for senior Anglin. And last but not least, Eric Webb, number 30. And of course, the Wildcat coach, Mr. Jim Tate, accepting the trophy, the fourth straight district championship, fourth straight West Michigan Conference championship for these very Wildcat and their fans. An exhilarating experience, to say the least.
Quite an accomplishment for a group of young men, all the way leading back to the 87-88 school year. And as you look at the roster of those kids as they're on the shirts that have been designed, the Quad Squad, you see an awful lot of talent and good kids, and it's been a great experience the last 4 years.
And I thought, as you talked about sportsmanship shown here, I thought it was just special that Shelby stayed out for the presentation, and we're seeing clapping. Coach Zulik was clapping. Very happy for the Wildcats. Certainly in their, through their tears, they certainly knew that they played a very good ball team. They knew that they'd also given that good ball team a very good run for their money, and they certainly have nothing to feel ashamed about. As I said earlier, it's too bad some of these teams couldn't have went to a different district, because it might have been a different story.
That's right, Jeff.
Well, Faz, let's give you a little bit of information now about that upcoming regional tournament action. First of all, the games are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, if we were fortunate enough to get all the way through. The site of the regional contest is Montebello High School. Montebello High School is over in the central part of the state, not far from Mount Pleasant, and we'll give you directions in a while. But we know that the teams in that regional will be 4 in number. One will be from the West Michigan Conference. Host school Montebello will be in the tournament action. Saranac, who is in the volleyball regionals today, will also be in the basketball regionals, and that will be who the Wildcats play. Wildcats versus Saranac. Also in the tournament, of course, will be those Oak Ridge Eagles. The Oak Ridge Eagles that we have defeated twice during the season, but they gave us good runs, both times led by Bubba Raymond and his compatriots there. And Tuesday night, the game time is at 7 o'clock. And I would recommend that you allow road time of approximately 1 hour and 40 minutes. 1 hour and 40 minutes to get there. And I guess I'll give the directions while I'm at it.
You're fine, right, Jeff?
The only reason I know this, gentlemen, is because of Elma, and the site of the regionals isn't far from Elma. If you leave Montague, I go the back roads, but I'm not going to give the back road directions. I get lost myself. But the real directions.
We know. We've been with you.
We've been with you once or twice.
You leave Montague, go to Fremont to Newaygo, and take Newaygo's 82 across to 131. M82 from Newaygo, east to 131, north on 131, about 1.5 miles, perhaps 2 miles, to M46. Turn east on M46 and go, I don't know how far it is, but you go to Edmore. You keep right on 46 to Edmore. As you come into Edmore, you'll pass Edmore's middle school. Please don't mix that up with the high school. Edmore Montebello Middle School is on the left side, and almost immediately after you pass that school, there's a Dairy Delight where I like to stop in the summertime. But right at the corner where the Dairy Delight is, you have
to stop there in the wintertime, too.
Yeah, he'll stop there anytime.
There'll be a sign that points north for the high school, Montebello High School. It's on Wyman Road as you go north out of town past the football field. It's approximately 4 miles to another corner called North County Line Road. You'll go just about a half-mile north of Wyman and turn left on North County Line Road, and Montebello High School will be about a half mile back west on North County Line Road on the south side. I think that'll get us there, Dan.
And I understand if you don't know those directions, or if you can't, if you didn't follow that, I believe that high school principal Roger Finland does have a map in the high school office.
Now you tell me.
Well, I just thought I'd add a little bit so it might be helpful.
Okay. Well, fans, we're just so excited about the Wildcats' victory tonight. They certainly deserve the championship, Dave, whoever you are, Jeff.
You can't tell you're excited.
No, I'm not excited. Who's excited? I'm not excited. They deserve the championship. We had several deserving teams here, but the Wildcats certainly played strong when they had to against the Shelby Tigers. And they'll represent the West Michigan Conference and District 83 very well in the regionals, too.
Well, tonight's ball game and the game against the Vikings is reminiscent of what the season's been like. We played very well when we've had to. In fact, you know, you take out the Shelby game early and give credit again to Shelby and the Scottville game late, and again give credit to Scottville. We've played super ball this year. They've been fun to watch. They've given every little that they've had all the time on the court. Everybody's contributed. It's just been an amazing year, and I guess another amazing year. We've done again for the 4th straight year what we've done, you know, since Coach Tate's arrived. So it's been you know, a real pleasant year. And again, as we move on, we certainly like to get through the regionals now, and I really think we've got a good shot in the regionals.
Well, we have a really good shot. I don't know much about the Saranac team. I understand Montebello is a very good team, however, and so it won't be easy. Of course, the Eagles always give us a good run as well, so we'll just have to wait and see. But we know the Wildcats are going to scrap and claw as much as they can to get that victory on Tuesday night against Saranac. I don't even know the nickname of the Saranac team, but
I'm not sure.
It's over by Grand Rapids, and I'm sure, you know, they're also just as excited as we are about their chance at the regional tournament action.
You know, the way I look at it, and maybe you guys feel differently, but I think if you win your district, anything after that is icing on the cake.
Oh, definitely.
You know, you win your conference. That's your first goal of the season. The second goal is to win the district, and I think if you accomplish those 2 goals, you've done a lot, and more than most teams in the state. And I think our kids especially have some incentive because we haven't been as successful in the regionals the last 4 years or 3 years, and so we do have some added incentive, and I think our chances are pretty good down in Montebello, the first game against Saranac, and who knows what can happen? A team can get going in the regionals and can be tough to stop.
Well spoken, Dale. I think, you know, if our season was to end tonight or end in the first game of the regionals, you know, we'd certainly have a lot to be proud of. We've had a great season, and there'd be a lot of teams around the state that would love to be where we are. So, you know, like I said, it's just icing on the cake. And if you think about it, really, in the end, through the state's process in their tournament, there's only one winner left. And we know for a fact there's a lot of winners around the state. We saw 2 tonight. We saw another one actually we saw a number of them this week here in this gym. So, you know, it's, again, everything's icing on the cake after this point.
It is, but one more comment here for me, and that'll do it for me. But I think a key could be to the fact that the Wildcats have regional tournament experience under the belt.
Exactly.
We've been there 3 times recently. Of course, we came away disappointed all 3 times, but the very fact that we've been involved in that kind of action could be a point in our favor. And I know the Wildcats would like to get past that first hurdle in any regional, of course, but especially this one, since it is the 4th time in a row that they've been there, and it would be nice to get a victory under their belt.
And that's why we're champions right now, because we had that experience against Whitehall playing in the big games. We had the experience against Shelby playing in the big games, and you're right. I think that could help us come.
And we have 2 players that have been there
3 years.
You know, this will be the 3rd year. We have the other ones that have been there 2 years. So you're right. We have good experience. So yeah, I look for us to do very well, and I certainly didn't mean by my comment that I want the season to end. You know,
no, absolutely not.
I certainly like to see it end at Chrysler Arena, or excuse me, at the Palace.
Palace, right? Well, folks, I think that'll just about do it from the booth for us tonight. We're going to go down on court. We're going to try and get some interviews. I'm not just sure if we'll be able to do that or not, but if we are, we'll certainly come back for one with whoever we can get to come out and talk to us. In closing, I just want to thank both Dale Schrader and Jeff Peterson for being my cohorts here in the booth. I've really appreciated working with you gentlemen. It's really an exciting experience. I enjoy it. I think you do too, and you do a great job. So I appreciate you working up here throughout the season.
Thanks a lot, Bob.
I deserve that. I deserve that. Gary Bodine has been on the camera a good portion of the season. We've had others too, of course, and we just thank him as well. And all the others who have helped out in the productions, we appreciate your efforts on behalf of Montague basketball.
Hello, fans. We're back on the court after tonight's thrilling victory over the Shelby Tigers as the Wildcats prevailed 65-57. And we're going to have a couple visitors with us in just a second. First of all, again, I'd like to remind fans that the game is going to be played Tuesday night against Saranac at Edmore Montebello High School in Edmore. And we will, if we get a chance to, before we go off the air, give you a time when those tickets will go on sale next week. We'd also like to thank C-Tech Cable for broadcasting this, and Steve Smith and all his help. Dale, it's fourth in a row. Boy, I tell you what, it's been a great year, and this puts a cap on it. And now we get a chance to look ahead to the regional, and we haven't had a lot of success there, but we get an opportunity to make amends for that.
I think every district you win is special, and tonight is no different than any other ones that they've won the last 3 years. There's something special about this one, the fact that it's the fourth straight, the fact that these kids have now gone to something like 41-2 here at home the last 2 years. I think they were 20-3 last year. They're 21-2 now, 41-5. I guess that works out to being that's a phenomenal record, and they've got something to prove in the regionals. We got some incentive going for us, and I look for a really good ball game Tuesday night.
Yeah, I do too. And with us tonight, we've got a couple gentlemen that's been a real big cog in this whole machine, and Coach Tate certainly is going to miss them next year as we head into that season. But they've at least got one more game left, and we're going to bring him in right now and talk to him. Come on in, guys. Of course, next to me is Eric Webb, and then next to Dale is Doug Schlaff. Both seniors this year, and both players that have been here now for the